What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at a title called Swarm Grinder, which is put up by a little company called Last Bite Games. This is very much a Vampire Survivors style game where there are endless waves of bug hordes that are coming after you, but it does have a nice little twist that I think among the absolute swath of Vampire Survivor copies actually caught my eye. I think this game is approaching it in an interesting direction with the introduction of a mechanic that allows you to control how many enemies are actually going to spawn, and you are rewarded based on like how many you spawn, how many more you spawn. But if you spawn too many, it's very, very easy to get overrun and annihilated unless your build is really, really strong. So in Swarm Grinder, you are a battle mech that's dropping down into an alien hive because there's things inside of it that we want to mine, like rare magic sci-fi space MacGuffin crystals. And so anyways, the goal of the game is there will be 25 mining spots, and your goal is to deploy a drill at those 25 mining spots. Sounds easy, right? But what's the catch? Well, the catch is that the whole thing is like a beehive. It's divided up into these little hexes that constantly regrow, and some of the hexes are inert, and some of the hexes have alien bug clusters inside of them, like eggs. And you have a device that allows you to easily and very, very quickly clear out all of like the beeswax, but you have to be careful about how many of the bubbles of eggs you hit going in between point A and point B. And the key to success in this game is really understanding your DPS, your ability to horde clear, and how well your build is going so that you know exactly how many eggs you can pop at the same time in order to be time efficient as you move in between the various drill locations. I thought that this was a very, very unique take on Vampire Survivors and a very, very good idea. In fact, I can see a number of ways just kind of in my mind's eye in the back of my head that they could make this work even better and make it really, really interesting to clear out all the little hexes. But I've played the demo. The demo's probably only about 20 minutes long, so this may be a shorter video. We'll probably play through one time. The demo was not that hard to beat, in my opinion. It took me a couple tries, but after I locked in on what the really, really good upgrades are, I think I've got it down pat, so I think we should be solid, but fair warning, this may be a shorter video. If you wanted to play this, it's available as part of the Steam Next Festival. You can find a link down below in the description. You can also find a link to my Discord and my Twitch stream. But let's do it, man. Let's get out here. The only good bug is a dead bug. Would you like to know more? As of right now, there's not a whole lot of options that you can play around with, but there are kind of like breadcrumbs that will allow us to figure out what content is coming. In fact, if you go back, they've actually got it all roadmapped out. They've got a very, very clear, very concise roadmap as to what their aspirations are and what's going to be implemented. So that's good to always have when you pitch something like this. There are going to be metagame upgrades that you're going to be allowed to play around with. However, crystal harvesting is not available inside of this demo. You deploy the drills, but you don't get anything from it. There's also going to be multiple characters, and as you can see, the game has very attractive pixel art. I think it looks really, really cool. I don't know what the second character is going to be. It looks like some kind of mortar unit from what I can tell. And so it looks like we've got somebody with possibly like an afro, and they've got a machine that fires, you know, mortars. But for right now, we just get Bullet Storm, which is the Gatling gun mech, which is fine by me because I love myself some DACA. It's also implied that there's going to be more maps as well. But for the moment, let's go ahead and play the game and see how it goes. So here we are, inside the alien hive. The little red spaces you're seeing, those are alien eggs. If we hit those, it spawns bad guys. The light gray, sort of red pinkish ones, those ones are the inert ones that I was talking about. Now, Bullet Storm always starts out with access to the Gatling gun. It shoots rapidly in a direction towards the nearest enemy, and it fires until it runs out of ammo, and then it has to reload for 1 second. Every time it starts firing, it costs us 3 gasoline per second. Our gas meter is over on the right. And basically, the more weapons you have, different weapons based on how good they are and how much damage they deal and how much clear they have, they cost more and more fuel. The good news here is the game is not stingy on fuel whatsoever. In fact, I think they have the game at a really nice equilibrium right now. When I first saw that mechanic that every gunshot basically lowers my fuel, I was like, I don't know how I feel about that, because that's really kind of just like a conceptualization of a time limit. And I don't really like games that have a time limit. It's not really. You're not going to have to worry about fuel pretty much at all if you get your clear up, because the aliens drop fuel. They also drop huge quantities of health, so you don't really have to worry about your health either this entire time, unless you really get in over your head. And that's where our trigger comes in. Now, there's 2 trigger modes. There's manual and there's automatic. Now, you might be thinking this is for your weapons. This is not for your weapons. This is actually for, like, your little sonar thing that clears out the little hexes. You can control it manually, which I highly recommend, or you can put it on automatic, which means it just fires all the time. I tried automatic a couple times, and I found that automatic does not work very well at all. It basically gets you killed very, very quickly. So you're definitely going to want to control your little bee-clearing sonar with your spacebar. And so off, and away we go. We've cleared out the first drill site. Now, what do you get for clearing out a drill site? Drill sites are ostensibly level ups. They allow you to get new upgrades for your mech that will make you stronger. Here we've got a crit item, we've got a burn item, and we've got razor blades, which is a new weapon. I will probably go after... Let's go for maybe some burn chance. That sounds good. So this is a passive skill that gives buffs about burning enemies to ashes. We can stack burn 5 times. It's got hit intervals, burn chance. One complaint about this game, there doesn't seem to be a way to get out of this. Like, anything that you touch, you are dedicated to taking, and all the other ones despawn. I'd like to see a little red X right here, because there's no contextual pop-up when you get near an item that tells you what it does. I'd like to be able to walk up, get a preview of what it is, and if it's not to my liking or to my build's liking, I can exit out and I can go get another one. Over here on this side, it'll let you know that every single item in this game has a tag on it. Things that share tags, they mean that they cross-pollinate and buff one another. So anything that affects single target is going to affect your Gatling gun. It's going to affect anything that focuses on one enemy at a time, so on and so forth. If it says AoE right here, all of the buffs that it gives are going to affect everything that puts out AoEs. And so that's very, very well done. It allows you to figure out synergies very, very quickly. I may have popped a few too many bugs right here, but I think we'll be okay. Now, you don't level up at all, except for opening up random little drill corridors. And so I'm going to try and do my best to do... I may have messed up here. I may have popped a few too many. I'm used to having a really, really overpowered mech that blows up the entire screen every single time it fires its guns, and I don't have that anymore. See, I'm fresh off a victorious run right now, and so I'm like all chuffed up and I'm all full of ego, thinking that the bugs can't touch me, but I'm not so sure. That's new, and I don't know what it is, so I'm going to get it. You have vortex bullets. This will fire a whirling blade towards the closest enemy. The blade deals damage in that area in regular intervals. Sounds like fun, but it did increase our fuel inefficiency, so we're going to have to deal with that. Let's go ahead and clear out some bugs over here, see if we can kill a couple of them. Oof, we got the big tanky bugs on us right now. The big old tanky boy bugs. I do try when I'm mining out all this random alien material to focus on directions that don't spawn quite as many bugs, but sometimes you can't get away from it. As of right now, the game has 4 enemy varieties. There are planned to be more. What I've seen is that there's little bugs that die instantly. There's larger tanky bugs. There's bugs that try to suicide bomb you. And then I think there's a bug that has like a dash or something like that where it like sprints at you and tries to get you and force you in certain directions and kind of herd you. Yes, there's the other mechanic. So the other mechanic is that every like 2 minutes or so, you are going to get a big giant bug horde that tries to attack you and murder you. I'm going to pick up a mortar for horde clear because I think that's where we're really struggling right now. And then I'm going to try to farm some bugs for some HP because our HP is kind of low to go into a horde wave right now. Unfortunately, the bugs aren't dropping health, so that's kind of bad. I would prefer that the bugs definitely draw more health. Ooh, okay, we got to go like this way. We'll kind of like kite around the edges. I'm going to have to cut through right there and spawn a few more if I want to survive this horde. No way around it. I feel like, so I normally am not a big fan of despawning power-ups. However, in this game, they are so generous with the power-ups, and honestly, the fade-out time for the power-ups, like the fuel and the HP, it feels fair. Like, this is one of the few games I've ever played where the amount of time, almost always in games with fading power-ups, they disappear too quickly. In this game, it feels pretty generous. Like, you've got enough time to scoop up the stuff and kind of enjoy the fight that you're currently engaged in. We are not making great progress right now. I need to upgrade this mortar and get it clearing out some AoE area a little bit better. That drill is dropped, so that's good. I'm going to need an HP pickup before too long. I'm not controlling my guns right now, by the way. I just realized that I didn't say anything about it. But I'm not controlling my guns. Let's get some crit chance up in here. Increases your crit chance and damage on enemies. We have that blade, and I feel like it ticks its damage very, very quickly, so it'll probably benefit from crit. Since it doesn't seem to do that much damage, getting it to crit every now and again seems like a good plan. And we've got like AoEs. That's a big bug cluster right there. I don't know if I want to pop that open yet. I don't know if that Pepsi's tab needs to be popped. I mean, technically, I guess if I really needed more fuel, I would go for it, but, you know, I'm kind of good on fuel right now. The dino juice is keeping me going pretty well. Apparently, it's bug juice because, like, the bugs seem to drop it when we murder them. It looks like we've created some kind of machine monstrosity that functions almost entirely off of the dripping blood of our enemies, which is kind of grim in a lot of different ways. We've got another wave probably coming up at 5 minutes would be my guess. If I was a developer, that's where I would put the next wave because it's nice and even and clean. We have an upgrade for our mortar. Every weapon in this game has multiple upgrade paths that go in different directions. There's not that many weapons in the game yet. I think there's like 6 or 7 from what I've seen so far, doing like 4 or 5 runs. But once more mechs are mixed on in, it seems to me like there's going to be a lot more options. And honestly, a game like this really thrives on its ability to serve up a variety. So we've got mortar burn chance, increases, gives all of our bullets a chance to blow up if they're single target tagged. Yeah, that sounds great. That sounds really, really good for horde clear. I'd like to get that number up to maybe like 15% per bullet because I think we've got 10 shots in a magazine right now. And so I'm just going to pop the cork on that. Yeah, there's the little exploder, guys, unfortunately. I got to kind of like clear a path here, but it's not going very well. There's a bunch of health over here, though, so I think I was wondering if I could, like, face tank it as long as I was walking through the health power-ups. That used to be my strategy when I would fight Hans Grasse. In Wolfenstein, there was a secret door inside the fight arena room, and it had a whole bunch of medkits that were in a row, and if you timed it right, oh, boy. Okay, I'm going to need some evac space to kite here. Oh, this might be the end. Yes, this is very much the end. Well, no, it's not. Never mind. Okay, that's the end. Is that the end? Oh, my God. We're kind of like DPSing through right now. I'm actually sort of shocked that we survived that with like 1 HP in a dream. Wow. Okay. Well, let's be very, very careful because the next baby sneeze is going to kill us. And so I don't want to get baby sneezed upon. If I could get a health drop, yeah, just anything to give me a little bit more breathing room, that would be great. I think our build is kind of in like that untenable position right now where it's still coming together and it's not quite done yet. Like, I've got the underpinnings and the foundations of a build, but I don't have the build yet. And so we're still not really killing bugs at the rate that I would like to kill bugs. But we did get some health pickups, so we're probably going to bounce back. I'm just going to kind of like slide through there, grab some of that fuel, maybe clear out a little bit of the mining node. Hopefully it doesn't regrow too fast. They are forcing me backwards right now, which is a tiny bit unfortunate. There's no dash or anything in this game that you can use to create spacing between you and the enemy. So really, you just have to be kind of careful in the way that you fan the hammer on your hex clearer. I don't even know what to... The dehexifier. That's what I'm going to call it. The dehexifier. That's a much better word. And we got a few bugs left. We've got a mortar upgrade over there. I'm going to take the mortar upgrade, and I'm going to make it so that our bullets have even more explosion chance. Sounds good to me. We've got another mining node down here, so let's go ahead and get after it. Fuel is going down pretty catastrophically right now with all the fun toys that we've slapped onto the mech. Good, 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 good. And little buggy buddies all kind of out of the way. Let's clear the drop site just so we can pick up another upgrade before this gets too wild and crazy. We'll take another mortar upgrade and we'll keep on making it so that our rapid fire bullets explode because that feels like a winning proposition for right now. Spoiler alert, I won a run just recently with this exact same build that sets off like chain explosions and then kind of gets like a 1-2 punch, 2-piece combo from the mortar striking the same area that just exploded. And so I feel pretty confidently about this. We are going to need to clear back over to here. I need that big tanky bug out of the way. Would have rather not gotten exploded on right there, but that's life. I don't think that the walls regrow if there's like a bug in the spot where they regrow, so I try to drag them along walls. I'm not exactly sure how the coding works, but areas that don't seem to have enemies around seem to regrow very, very quickly. Oh yeah, there's a little stingray in there. He's not a stingray anymore, he's a stungray. Alright. Let's continue wiping out enemies. Let's go pick up another upgrade from down in this area. I'm assuming that the crystals are going to drop off the bugs as you kill them as the game comes out, or maybe they're going to get mined by these various drills. I don't know. But either way, the game does seem to need some kind of like ting, 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 like something flowing to your character and making a sound. There are not sound effects right now for the health pickups or for the fuel, and I think there probably should be. We could take a Gatling gun upgrade. Increases the damage of your Gatling gun. Yep, take it. I feel like it's definitely taking us a while to kill certain breeds of bugs here. Oh boy, I'm getting myself in over my head. Where's the next mine at? Down on the left. Okay. Just keep shooting. We're going to go a little bit down into the left, but we're not going to dedicate too hard. We're just trying to kind of feint here and kind of clear out what we can from that little node. All right, so let's go down this way. We'll clear it a little bit further. Yeah, we definitely need some DPS. I may have my eggs in the AoE basket a little bit too heavily right now. Like, we need something that's got a little bit more chunk and a little bit more bump to it. I'm having to fall back, like, way too much. Let's get that node cleared. Did it not get cleared? I don't think it got cleared properly. We've got another wave coming, too. This is not ideal. Alright, well, let's make hay while the sun's shining here and do what we can, because we're definitely going to need an upgrade to survive this next wave. I'm going to need some health as well. There was one, but let's go for another mortar upgrade. I can get like a bigger explosion, or I can make it so that there's a chance that will light things on fire. I can make it fire 20% faster, but it does less damage. Or I can make the area larger, but I can make the cooldown longer. The cooldown does seem to be a little bit aggressive right now, so I think a 20% speed up might help. And since we only lost 15% damage, we should still be showing like a 5% increase in damage second by second, I think, if I've done my math correctly. Oh, we're down. Unfortunate. The death animation definitely needs some work. I think the death could be a lot more explosive. It could be a lot more interesting. I could have like camera zoom and a little bit of camera shake on in there as you're torn apart by bugs. We made it 10 minutes, though. That's not too bad. I just couldn't pull that build together. I think I dedicated too hard to the mortar, and I should have focused on other things. Let's get back in the saddle. Oh, no, 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 no. I don't want the automatic trigger, and I can't back out of that right there. Like it says that you can right here. Let's try and see if the middle mouse works. Middle mouse does not work because it opens up the menu over here instead of exiting you out of that. And so anyways, I think that's probably just like an input bug, but it does need to be seen to. I'd like to be able to back out of upgrades that I don't want to take. All right, manual triggers back up in here. We'll clear out our first drill spot. And what's our first weapon? We have the Vortex bullets or a Gatling gun upgrade. Let's for now, actually this gives us 30% damage flat, which allows us to take some of the upgrades that increase our firing speed while still ending up kind of like 35% positive, I guess. So like, I guess, you know, it'll work out. There's another drill spot uncovered. Those ones were nice and easy. They were super close to one another. I'll take it. Razor blades or mortar? Let's try the razor blades out. We'll see how the blade... I don't like the idea of being inside melee range with the enemy. I think if it had a little bit of knockback attached to it, I'd actually probably like it better. Like if when they got hit, they slid back by maybe like a couple centimeters on the screen. I don't know. The developer would be aware of the movement speed of all of these bugs and would know what kind of distance. A homing barrage. Never seen that before. You have unlocked the homing barrage. Fires a barrage of missiles targeting random enemies that deals damage. Yes. Absolutely. I love missile barrages. In Mech Warrior, I am an LRM guy. The more LRMs I can stack on my boat, the happier I am. Oh, that's a little disappointing, though, on the visual feedback. Like, I thought the explosions would be a little bit better looking. Like, it looks like we're just shooting, like, yellow lasers at them because they don't really explode when they hit the enemy or, like, throw flames back or anything. Oh, well. Maybe we'll be able to buff it into something cool. Let's keep it going that way. I think we've got 2 ranged options and a melee option right now. So next we should maybe take a melee option if there even is one. We have cleared out a decent amount of space in a short amount of time, so I'm inclined to think that the build is going okay. Let's take a 60% damage increase here. Oh, never mind. Apparently the passive perks also have passive trees. Every kill gives you a heal. That seems ridiculously overpowered. Increase count of all skills, but decrease damage. So it gives me like 1 more bullet, but it decreases the damage of my AoEs. I don't know if that comes out net positive. Reduces all skills cooldown. Oh, that's the winner right there. That's the winner chicken dinner. That's just a straight 10% damage increase per second. Like, that's good. That's real good. Honestly, if I could get it to where my blade is constantly swinging, I'd be a super happy boy oucher. All right, let's kill these guys off. Feel reasonably solid about this build so far. Like, I think our passives are in a good spot. Actives-wise, I may need to pick up a few more upgrades. All right, enemies down. Get ourselves refueled. I want this drill to be cleared before the wave arrives, but I don't know if it's going to give it to me. Honestly, I'd like this wave to be cleared before the wave arrives too, or that little pack that I burst right there, but didn't happen. Let's get that drill up. The drill is not up. I'm creating more problems for myself right now, trying to retreat. Come on. Die for me. Trying to make use of the saw blade right now. I don't want to have to clear any more hexes if I can help it, even if it means I have to face tank the enemy for a second. I don't want to... Oh, never mind. They're going to make me spawn more enemies. Respectable. What can I do with the homing barrage? I've never seen this weapon before, so I want to play around with it. Bullets will bounce from one enemy to another, doing decreased damage. Burn target on single. Bigger magazine and range, but less damage. Okay. Let's go Ricochet. I think that sounds good. Anything that spreads the damage around a little bit, I think is a good idea. Yeah, that seems to be helping out a little bit with the overall DPS performance of the gun. And it looks like it gives you like 2 Rickies. Okay. Let's get around these guys and keep going towards the next mining spot. I don't want to get bogged down too badly. At least I'd prefer not to. Next mining spot. Good, 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 good. Honestly, I think one of the reasons why this game feels so satisfying to play, despite the fact that it's missing a lot of sound effects and whatnot, is that animation for destroying hexes looks and feels really, really good. Like, they made it a really pleasing experience, sort of an OCD-appeasing dopamine from clearing out hexes that I think works pretty well. Yeah, you're going to want to kill that last bug so that I can clear this mine. Let's clear that right there. Mine should be deployed. Oh, there's still one remaining. There we go. All right, what you got for me, baby? What you got for me? We've got a mortar, we've got 30% more damage, or we've got explosion upgrades. Let's get a mortar just to make sure that we're maxed out on weapons for right now. I am a little tiny bit low on fuel. The good news here is when you run out of fuel, you don't die. It just starts to drain your health at the same rate that it drains your fuel. And so we would have like another 6 or 7 seconds to play around with if indeed we did end up with 0 fuel. In fact, I think that's probably the first time I've ever seen the meter get that low. As far as I can tell, there doesn't seem to be a way to increase the size of your fuel tank in the current build. Oh, I may have screwed myself here. Smaller but swifter magazines. Oh yeah, apparently I took a Gatling upgrade. My Gatling now ricochets. Oh god, a wave. This is not good. Oh, dude, the wave, I wasn't paying attention. The wave came at just exactly the wrong time. But yeah, that right there is Swarm Grinder. I hope you guys liked it. You've got the rough idea of the game. There's not too much more to say. You can go check out the demo on the Steam Next Fest. I think this is a very, very good idea. It's not fully implemented yet. It's obviously not done in terms of like sound effects and content and things of that nature. But this is a very, very good idea for a game. I like it a lot. This kind of fits my criteria. Like, when I look at games, I want to see, I'm okay with things being in the same genre, but I want to see, like, a twist. And this is definitely sort of like a Vampire Survivors style game, or like, 20 minutes till dawn or whatever. But it definitely has that twist there, where every single enemy attacking you is your fault. Nobody else's fault but your own, basically. So if there's a bunch of enemies on screen, you did it to yourself, and when you die, it's because you either overcleared backpedaling, or you didn't set up your build properly, or you weren't hitting upgrade nodes fast enough. I like that. It takes the game and gives it a nice little feeling of agency right there, where you can clear at your own pace, but not too much. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we were checking out Swarm Grinder. Tomorrow we will be checking out something else. I'll see you then. Thanks for sharing your time with me.